Hello, it's Diana Marchand, founder of Raw Foods Made Simple, and I make healthy eating and living simple for you so you can live a life of vibrant health and energy. And welcome to this video. This is the second video in a video series that I'm doing on why you may not be able to release weight and feel great right now. And my first video was on stress and what stress has to do with it and how stress can cause you to hold on to the weight and not release it and also feel really tired and exhausted. Stress is like the next epidemic, and if you haven't watched the video, please watch the video. It's really important. It contains a lot of really good information in it and some tips on how you can easily start to reduce stress now. And this video is all about the food. So I'm a foodie and food is really important to me, but I know that health is so much more about food. It's mind, body, and spirit. It's a holistic thing. So in these videos, I kind of want to cover everything, right? So in this, really what I want to do now is really start to educate, teach people. If you love these videos, please share them, give them out. I'm giving you tons of information I even give in my programs. So this is all for you guys right now, free. So soak it in, sit down, take some notes. This is going to be a little bit longer, and it's actually going to end up being 2 full videos. I'm going to do another one after this on other aspects I can't cover in this one. So let's get started. Food. Now you don't really need to see, it's kind of for me. These are kind of my notes too, so I have something to follow. Food is everywhere. I mean, we have to have it to survive, so we can't really ignore it. We can't say, well, I'll just delete it out of my life. It has to be with us. Food, because of that, food's been a part of our culture, our lives, everything for centuries. It is so ingrained in us. It is part of our festivals, our celebrations, holidays, every family gathering. You know that, it's all about food. Friends, holidays, beach time, everything involves food. And because it has this close attachment to family, our traditions and our culture, then it also has a lot of emotional attachment, of course. So food we smell it, we taste it, it brings up emotions, feelings and thoughts of when we were young or special times in our life. So it's really emotionally, we have a lot of attachments around food. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention was the family and the tradition of food, and that's why it is so important to us. And there's some foods that maybe you were raised with or that was part of a ritual or family tradition that of course is not so healthy for us, but the thought of you letting go of it would be like letting go of a family member, giving it away. And that is bringing me to my philosophy on food. I am not the type that's going to tell you for sure, get rid of this, except I really have to say any preservatives, packaged junk food that contains tons of junk in it, no nutrients, yes. Eventually I want you to get rid of it. But like if you want to eat meat, just be aware and get it from a really good source, organic, grain-fed, treated ethically, on and on. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. Same with certain foods. Yes, I have foods that our family had during holiday times that still mean a lot to me. So of course I will have some of those foods during the holidays or certain times of the year. It doesn't mean only eat clean 100% of the time. Really, it's like 75, 80% really good foods consistently, that other bit, 20%, 25%, whatever, left open, okay? Life is about living, enjoying it, and having fun. So that's my philosophy. And we'll talk more about different types of food in my next video, like the vegan and gluten-free and stuff, how I feel about those. Okay, so comfort food. Now, often that's associated with foods we grew up on, so we see them as comfort because they might like the mac and cheese, the steak and potatoes, whatever you were raised with, whatever felt like home, whatever has this sense of when you eat it, it's usually heavier food. You kind of feel grounded home. It's a sense of like the big meals that we used to have around family and tradition time, holiday time. Now those comfort foods usually are not that healthy for us, but there again is the emotional attachment to them. So it's very hard for us to think of giving those up. It's like we get like this, oh my God, I can't give those up. So like again, I'm not asking you to give them up. I want you to take a look at what are in those foods. So and also why you feel you need those foods, if you need them more than every once in a while. If you need food for comfort consistently, then there's something in your life that you're not dealing with. So you really need help on that aspect. It's not the food, it's more of the mental and the emotional states that you need help with when you're wanting to consistently eat those comfort foods. The media is another thing that really is a trouble in our life. I love the Food Network. I'm not saying don't watch it. I absolutely love to watch it. The thing is that most of the foods they prepare on those network shows and cooking shows are not healthy. They use the white sugars, the white flours, the deep fryers all the time, the combining the flour and the flour batters. Like, I don't even know if there's a gluten-free Food Network show at all. So anyways, they contain foods that are usually really hard on our digestion, drain us of energy, and leave us with a foggy brain, aren't able to focus and concentrate, and of course, weight gain. Those foods on those network shows are crazy. It doesn't mean because this beautiful chef is making something and still using white flour and sugar that, oh my, I could do that and I could stay nice, trim, and slim like she does. That is not true. Not true. She probably doesn't even eat those foods. And commercials, of course, those are the worst. They push us into these foods, making believe they're healthy. Packaged, processed, fast, easy junk foods. Now, our society is very busy. So I don't necessarily blame the food companies. It's basically, we're responsible. The people are busy, they're stressed, they want fast, easy food. So we've requested it. If there wasn't a demand, there wouldn't be a supply. So really watch that. And they're making food now that lasts a long time on the shelves because we want things we can stockpile, you know, with the Costco's where you go, you buy huge packages of everything so you can put it in your fridge so you don't have to shop all the time or in your cupboards. Well, that's silly. Food is not meant to last that long. When it can, it's not food. And those boxed milks, don't buy boxed milks on a shelf. Why the heck could a milk possibly last that long on a shelf? It's not real. Even the almond milk, the hemp milk, don't buy the refrigerated ones instead. Things that are real food do not last a month, okay? Unless it's deep fried, unless it's freeze dried and packaged, dehydrated or something, okay? So beware of those types of foods. Don't get in the habit of just because it's cheap buying 5 boxes of something. So we're really going to stay away from the packaged, processed. Read the labels. You'll see that really there's no food in any of those foods. Okay, so now we're getting to the food. The types of food and what I suggest some tips for you. Now, if you're women in our early to mid 40s, well actually mid 40s to late 40s and beyond, then your body's really changing. So you need to also change what you're eating. Because what you used to do in your 20s and 30s is not going to work anymore, and those foods may not agree with you. So it's really about making some changes. It doesn't have to be hard. And actually, I'm more focused on bringing in good foods, on what you should be eating, right? What you should be eating. So what can you do? Well, I'm going to talk about the white stuff. So yes, I know, and you've heard this in every diet plan, everything, get rid of the white stuff. And that is the white flours. Even flours that say it's whole wheat are usually full of regular flour, white flour anyways, just a little bit of whole wheat. It's so highly processed, it has no ingredients, even fiber in it anymore. Forget about it. It's not good for you. It has nothing for you. Acts as a filler. Think of flour and water makes that paste, paper mache. That's going to fill your intestines. Think about that. Decrease the gluten and dairy. Now, why I said that is because if you take out gluten, you're really taking out, hopefully, a lot of the white stuff anyways. But beware of gluten-free foods, okay? Those gluten-free flours and all those gluten-free products also have preservatives and they have no nutrients. So it doesn't mean it's healthy. But if you take out like the breads and all those things, take out as much as you can, and a lot of your heavy dairies that you're eating, that has a lot of fat, a lot of no nutrients whatsoever, and a lot of people have actually sensitivities and allergies to these and don't even realize. Also, the flours and the white stuff fogs up your brain. It'll make you feel a little depressed and sad. You don't believe me? Try giving it up for about 2 weeks and you will notice a huge improvement in your mood. I know a lady that did that and it wasn't even a week and she noticed an improvement in her mood. Guarantee that will happen. Get rid of the white stuff. Brown rice, wild rice, you can have a bit of that. There's still lentils, there's still beans if you want to have things like that, the heavier foods. There's still things. And new potatoes from the garden every once in a while are great. So what you're going to do is tons of veggies and fruit. And I know that sounds really simplistic and easy, but it's very true. Your vegetables are where there's high nutrients, So really high density nutrition for your body, but also very low in calories. You need to think about food differently. It's not just about I'm full, eating till you're full. It's about eating for nutrients, and that is what the veggies have. Superfoods and powders we're going to talk about in my next video. These are foods that you can add super fast and easy, extremely dense in nutrition, high in protein, high in minerals and trace minerals you don't get from a lot of other foods. Very fast and easy, and it will really pump up the nutrition and make you feeling great and high energy. Really good for energy. Yeah, so before you eat, I want you to look at your plate, at your food, and say, does what I'm about to eat nourish me? Am I eating this just because I'm hungry and I'm grabbing the first thing that's around? Or is this food that has vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, all of those things that your body needs to function? See, our cells, they need the real nutrition. And if we're not feeding our body the real nutrition, what happens is it begins to break down, right? So it's like a car. If you don't put the proper fuel in your car, you're not going to fill your car up. Just to fill it up, you're not going to say, oh, I'll just fill it up with anything. How about water today? Well, it's not going to run. But we do that with our body. Because we're hungry and it needs to be filled, we just pack anything in it saying, well, that's good enough. It's not good enough. And that's why there's so much obesity, illness, and disease nowadays. It's because we're filling up our body with the completely wrong type of fuel. It's not feeding us. It's only actually damaging. It has a negative effect. So it's actually damaging our body. It's not just not doing anything, it's actually damaging our body. So I want you to think about that. So you want to, the veggies, it's quite simple to turn this around. Even if you continue to eat a lot of the things you have been eating, one of the best things you can do is to add more veggies into your day. So your portion sizes just need to change. So let's say if you're still eating meat, the meat becomes the smaller part, the vegetables become the big, huge, biggest part. And then if you still want to eat some starches, like potatoes, which I don't suggest mixing meat and starch, I'll talk about that in the next video, but make that the smaller part. So let's say if you got the meat or fish out of the way and you're just having starch, you can have just starch and veggies in your day. So like the potatoes or the squashes, rice, then have lots of veggies. Still, the veggies are going to be a larger portion. Yeah, so just think about decreasing the foods that I have suggested that you let go in your life, just decreasing them and increasing, bringing in more good foods. So also variety of vegetables and greens are really important, so you want to get a big variety. And if you really think you don't like vegetables, it's probably because you've never had them prepared in a way that you like. So I also have a little recipe book on my site at Raw Foods Made Simple. It's my 30-day little recipe calendar, and there's some really good healthy recipes there, or on my YouTube channel, Diana Marchand, if you are not sure how to cook veggies, because I love cooking my veggies and making good salads. Coconut oil you can sub for butter. If you use white sugar now, really try to get back on that, and you can basically sub honey, agave, maple syrup, for even in baking recipes, even medjool dates, things like that. But it takes a little bit of practice, but I highly suggest you do that, and just get rid of the white sugar, okay? Just get rid of the white sugar. Don't use a lot of sweeteners, but if you do, of course, use the honey, a bit of agave, and the maple syrup, all in moderation, okay? Light and diet, same with the yogurt, same with all of that. Those are fake things. They're usually sweetened with aspartame. The flavored yogurts contain tons of sugar, usually food dyes to make them look a certain color. They're not natural. Use regular yogurt, add your own fruit. If you want a sweetener, add a bit of honey or maple syrup in it, okay? Coconut water is a great natural sports drink, okay? And I could be posting more drinks on how to make your own fresh drinks in the summer. Use real fruit, you know, make your own cranberry juice, make your own juices. It's super easy. If you got a blender, blend it up. Nothing hard about that. So what I said before was focus on the health, not low calories. You just need to focus on healthy foods. You don't need to worry about right now counting calories, measuring foods, and doing all that. If you really do have a huge plate of vegetables, a little bit of meat and a little bit of starch, that's fine. I don't care how big that plate is or how many vegetables you have on, like broccoli and zucchini and asparagus and greens and carrots or whatever. I mean, if you have a huge plate of potatoes that are deep fried, then there's a problem. But you know what I mean? Really, don't stress out. Just start bringing in more healthy vegetables and greens. We're going to talk about superfoods such as hemp, chia, buckwheat, and all that in my next video. Same with spirulina, chlorella, some of these green powders that are really easy to add. And then, of course, we'd like to reduce the caffeine, alcohol, refined sugar, food colors, dyes, preservatives, and additives that I've already talked about. I still have a cup of coffee a day, so I believe in moderation, everything in moderation. You got to find your perfect balance. And an important thing is, too, is that every woman is different. Every person is different, but I usually coach women. So what I encourage is you find something that works for you. I have been through a wide variety of changes. I've gone really high raw. That worked for a while. Then it didn't work for me. So you need to find balance. And I really work with women individually to find their perfect balance that works for them, that works for you. And that's what's important. Some women can need a lot more protein in their diet, and that doesn't just mean meat. Some women love more fruit and do better on more fruit. Other women do better, like me. I'm definitely more of a vegetarian person. That's where I'm meant to be. Lots and lots of vegetables, love them, thrive on them. But I also require some of the cooked food. That's why all raw wasn't perfect for me. So every woman is different. Find what works for you. Don't do something your friend did just because she lost weight. I don't teach that either. What I teach is really finding the perfect balance for you. And like I said, health has so much more to do than with just what you eat too. And we're going to talk about those in future videos. Okay, well, I hope that you have learned something in this video. I really do. And I'm going to continue to teach you and get some great information out there. So thank you so much for watching. And at the next video, some of the things I'm going to cover are, I'm going to talk about the things that sabotage you usually when you begin to start making changes in your eating and living, what some of those sabotages are, and really what you can do about them, because those are what trip you up a lot. How to deal with eating well, like changing what you eat, and still having to make the food and deal with family and friends. Okay, that I'm going to talk about. Also, I'm going to talk about how food directly affects your moods. So how you feel, like emotionally and mentally, how you think, focus, and concentrate. And then how to change the way you think about a meal that'll take all the stress away. I know that some women are stressed when it comes to meal planning and what they should eat, and this way of thinking is really going to help you change that. We're going to talk about food combining, more into that, and how food combining can make a huge difference in how great you feel, losing weight, getting rid of the bloating and uncomfortableness. And then, of course, how I feel about gluten-free and vegan foods, and so much more. So it's all coming up. Please like my Facebook page, Raw Foods Made Simple. Check out my YouTube videos. Subscribe, Diana Marchand. And, of course, my blog, Raw Foods Made Simple. And I'm looking forward to the next video. Thanks so much for joining me.